down, and we're going to come right back in. Hey, everybody on YouTube and Facebook, and all my listeners out there on Hamilton Radio Oldies, HamiltonRadio.net, and everywhere we are. I just want to welcome tonight. Our guest tonight would be Justin Wright, country singer, songwriter. You do it all, don't you, Justin?
I'll tell you, I do a little bit of it all, to say the least. It keeps me pretty busy these days.
Well, take me through your career in a little bit of a way, but start off how you started out in music.
Yeah, so actually, I started off in music a little bit later than most people did. I was an athlete growing up and I really kind of put my time into that. And then, sometime around, I was 17 years old and I had a pretty catastrophic injury that prevented me from being able to play, sports any further, and particularly in college. And well, once I got to college, I started, picking up the guitar, playing a little bit. I always been told that I could do a little bit of singing, and I moved around the Nashville area, and I kind of got hooked up with some people that were in the industry, and did a little bit of songwriting, and then it just kind of all came together. They said, you really ought to be looking at trying to do this on a little bit higher level. And that's kind of how it really started off. I mean, it wasn't one of those things where, a lot of people are just brought up in it. From the time they're little, they've had a guitar stuck in their hand. I'm kind of a one-off in my family. I don't have those musical influences within my family. But that's kind of the way it started. It was kind of organic.
It's funny when you say that, because just compare your life with mine. I mean, I started as an athlete as well, and then I went into music in my 60s, so
right.
I mean, earlier, before that, I was in music too, but the music never leaves you. It never leaves you.
No, it really doesn't. And the music, even when I was not a artist per se, or considered myself a performing artist, music had a huge impact on me. I remember some of the greatest memories I have with my dad. I live in rural Northwest Tennessee, where we live the country life. We go hunting, we go fishing, I grew up on a farm, and I remember that it didn't matter whether we were out baling hay or we were fishing or whatever. Music was always on, and it was always that Southern rock stuff, that really kind of, it captured. Actually, Southern rock really captured my attention before country music did, and just kind of my taste in music and everything evolved. I mean, I have a lot of influences, but my earliest recollections of listening to Leonard Skinner and Marshall Tucker Band and stuff like that with my dad is really where the love came from.
That's a lot of great influences. We interviewed, I forget his name, but from the Kentucky Headhunters, his influences were about the same, Southern country and rock, when he grew up. And it's important because that was the base of his music. So when you write, do you write from that influential type of thing, or do you just pick up like these new stories and just like, oh, I'm going to write this song? And
yeah, it's really funny because I've talked to a lot of songwriters, and I ask them about their process. And some people say I have a very stringent, this is how I write a song every single time. Where for me, it's more of an organic process. I may come across a hook for just a fun song, and I'll write the hook down and I start doing that. Or I start playing a melody on my guitar, and a lick comes out, and I'm like, okay, I like this music. Some people will write the lyrics and then write the music. Some people will write the music, write the lyrics. Some of the greatest, co-writers together are the ones where one of them really is a great lyricist and the other one is a great instrumental person. And with me, there's really no rhyme or reason to how I write my music. I gain inspiration from so many different places, and I think that when you see my discography, you can really tell that I don't really have that niche I write a little bit about everything, and I also write to other genres as well. There's certain songs that just don't fit that country box, but um, they're good songs nonetheless.
Yeah. Oh,
So
yeah.
they still need to be written and they need to be performed. Now they may not need to be performed by me, or maybe they do, but I don't just write to the country rocker type of thing. I write to a little bit to everything. It's just really what kind of stirs my emotions, if you will.
Yeah. What spin you put on it? Yeah, I get that. Also, remember any song that's if it's an accident or not, could also be a hit. It just depends on what you think and what the people think. More
Oh,
people
absolutely.
think.
Absolutely. And I will tell you this, it's a funny story about that. Is that I remember when I was first getting my music out there, and I've still got this one song I really, really like. I mean, I really like this song. And it's funny how I kept writing and everything evolved. And I'm like, okay, we're going to cut this song. And first time we got in the studio, well, it didn't quite make the cut. We pushed it back. Second time we go in the studio, love this song. Well, we're going to push it back the next time. I still have not cut that song yet, but it just kind of shows you the evolution of a song. It can tickle your fancy and you can love it, and then all of a sudden, you may write something better, or somebody just really is like, I like that song, but this is the one you need to go with. So yeah, it's a quite interesting process, to say the least.
It's like a songwriter hell, because I find like a lot of songs that you like, again, and you really want to, get them out there because they sound great, they're doing good, they're wonderful, but at the same time, they're not being received well. And that's
Yeah.
part of the problem.
Well, one of the things that I try to look at as a songwriter is that I try to certain songs mean more to me because I write about uh, things that are very personal to me. And the thing that I try to understand is that the public by and large may not be able to understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I've got the most intimate song that I've ever written in my life that I perform here and there. There's a good possibility that I will never cut that song, because to me it's just so deep and personal that, I mean, I don't know that it would necessarily connect with the mass audience, but to me, I covet that song probably more than any song I've ever written, because it stirs emotions in me that, and if that's as far as that song goes, that's great. Because I wrote that song coming from a place of um, I wrote that song coming in a place of healing, and it helped me to heal.
Wow. That's amazing. Can you give everybody your information? First, I want to give a shout out to Paula Ann for bringing you to me again, which I really appreciate. But give your information out where everybody can reach you,
Yeah,
or your music.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. You can find me at Justin Wright Music on Facebook, um, Justin Wright Music Official on Instagram. I also have a website that we're actually developing right now. We got some good stuff on it, but we're updating it now. It's justinwrightmusic.com. We try to stay consistent with our message here, but and also too, we've got some great music out on all streaming platforms right now: Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music. You can find it on YouTube as well. It's just under Justin Wright. If you look up Justin Wright music, it should pop right up for you. And I want to go ahead and thank everybody that has subscribed to our music and downloaded our music and listened to our music. And if it's not for you guys, then we wouldn't be doing it. So.
Give us a real quick type of thing. We have about 5 minutes left. About your song that is out now, or maybe a couple songs, and just give a little summary of each song, what it's about.
Sure. So I'll just kind of go over the last three we've done. Got very one of the things that really helped us, and Paul Ann had a big part of this, as well as my publisher, Tough Duck Music. They really helped me out as well. I feel extremely lucky because my first two songs actually did hit number one on Cruising Country Radio, on independent radio. So it was a very exciting thing, when "Cause I Can" was the first single that came out. Then after that, we released a song called "A Fatal Attraction." As I said, both of those songs hit number one. But the one I'd really like to talk about now is the single we've got out now. It's called Cold Beer in Hell. It actually debuted at number 2 on Cruising Country Radio, on independent radio. And to me personally, I think it's the best song that I've released to date. And it's getting great reviews. Everywhere that we're kind of getting it out there and people listen, they're really, really picking it up. And it's one of those, I think it's going to be one of those defining songs for me, that I think that really is going to help, um, you know, kind of put the music on the map, if you will. I know that since it's been released, a lot of things have opened up. But as I said before, you can get those on all streaming platforms.
Right.
But feel extremely blessed. Like I said, got an amazing team behind me at Blaze Entertainment, Tough Duck Music. Um, it's just Dreamscape and Jackson did a great job of mixing and mastering some of my music as well. And then one thing I do want to do is I want to thank my band. I actually went solo after the first of the year, just because working a lot of I wanted to work it as a solo project. We just thought it was going to be, better to do it that way, just because of the sound and the mixture of styles. But my band, the Dirty Strings, they were there for our first 2 singles. We had a great run for a year and a half. What we're doing now is the sound is kind of going more to that radio country rock type of stuff. And, we got some great stuff, great shows coming up, and we can't wait for you guys to hear some of the new music.
Yeah, one of the people want to know, Cookies wants to know, are you on Spotify as well?
Yes, I am on Spotify. You can look me up under Justin Wright. I think that some of the music is also under Justin Wright and the Dirty Strings as well, but you should be able to find it. And that new single is called Cold Beer in Hell. So, and I appreciate the question, and, appreciate your willingness to give it a listen.
Absolutely. Well, we're almost out of time, Justin. Anything that you want people to know about you that you they don't really know about you?
Well, I got married last week.
Hey, congratulations.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, I got married last week. Stacy has been with me through this entire process. She's a great support for me. I love her beyond all measure, and I'm just glad to have her in my life and in my corner, because she's so awesome and has been so good to me. But that's one thing that a lot of people probably didn't know about. But just to kind of tell you what we've got coming up, really excited. Paul Ann helped to broker a deal with East Coast Artist Agency, which is going to be handling our booking going forward. Thank you so much for the congratulations. But we'll be working with an East Coast Artist Agency, which is going to help us get out in some shows than more of a regional level. Looking at trying to get in the Texas, Oklahoma market. Recently just signed a multi-show deal with Ultimate Challenge Productions.
Nice.
Out of Missouri, which is going to get us in the Missouri, Arkansas, Texas market as well. So we're really, really excited about the things that are coming up. We're also slated to play CMA Fest as well once again this year. I think I've got 3 dates at CMA Fest in Nashville, which is just a phenomenal event. It's a great opportunity to get your music out there to people that are just absolutely crazy about country music. So, but yeah, that's what we got going on. And, I appreciate you having me on the show tonight.
Thank you, Justin. I appreciate you being here. I'm sorry I got to do another show in about 15 minutes, but it's the way entertainment this business is. But thank you for being here. I sent you an email. Send you a message from me. Send me an email my music to your music to my email, so I can start playing your stuff. I think I was playing some of the other ones, the older ones.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll send it over to you.
Thank you. Again, thank you, Paula Ann, for Justin Wright, and best of luck to you, Justin, in the future. And I hope everything works out for you. Thank you for everybody.
Appreciate you having me. We'll see you down the road later.
My pleasure. Thank you.